Bruh, I've been saying this for years. Our culture celebrates fakeness all the time. We uphold fake shit. Karmelo Anthony. That young man was an honor roll student, an athlete. That's who he really is. No support. He goes against his true character and commits an act that will affect him for the rest of his life. Everybody support him for doing the wrong shit. That's our culture in a nutshell.
This Karmelo Anthony, Austin Metcalf situation is getting ugly. And it's getting uglier by the day. And I gotta admit, it's really crazy watching this play out. Especially because I've known that this mentality has existed in certain communities here in America for a while. But now I think it's gone mainstream. And what I mean by that is now the entire nation is kind of finding out about this mentality. And some people already knew it existed. Some people knew this hate existed already. But a lot of people didn't. And even some of the people who knew deep down, they tried to pretend it didn't exist. But you can't pretend now. When we're sitting here on a daily basis watching a community of people celebrate the murder of a child, that's when you know you've reached the point of no return. You've reached the point where you cannot look away. You've reached the point where you cannot deny it. You just can't. And if you try to deny it, you look stupid. But as you guys know, there was another press conference yesterday for Karmelo's family for some odd reason. And Austin Metcalf's father showed up to this press conference and he was thrown out by the police. Well, now the news is breaking that Austin Metcalf's father's house was swatted last night after the press conference. Of course, he showed up to the press conference, he was thrown out, and then shortly after, his house was swatted. And my question is this: where is Frisco PD in all of this? Where in the hell is the Frisco Police Department? Are y'all too busy following Karmelo Anthony and his entourage around to all of their little press conferences? Protecting them as they do photo shoots with rappers and stuff like that? Is that where your energy is going, Frisco PD? Because there seems to be a lot of energy going towards Karmelo Anthony's direction and protecting him and, let's make sure of this, let's make sure of that. Where's the protection for Austin Metcalf's family? We know that the mother got swatted and it did not even make the news. The mother got swatted and we didn't find out till days later because it did not even make the news. Meanwhile, Karmelo's ET-looking mom is in the news every day. Meanwhile, their baby freaking beater spokesman is in front of the cameras every day. But Austin Metcalf's mom didn't do an interview or say a damn thing about getting swatted. We had to find out days later, and now we're finding out that Austin Metcalf's father has been swatted as well. And part of me wonders, I'm not trying to be mean here, but I'm just being real. Part of me wonders what's going through Austin Metcalf's father's mind right now. Are you still happy that you forgave Karmelo so quickly? Do you regret that now? Are you still trying to be friendly with this family as they sell t-shirts profiting off of your son's death? Are you okay with being swatted and all of the other stuff that they're doing to Austin Metcalf's dad online? I wonder if he regrets automatically coming out and sympathizing with his son's killer immediately. Because personally, I didn't like that. But I'm not going to judge someone who just lost a son. But I will be honest. I'm going to be honest about how I feel. And at the same time, I'll stand for Austin Metcalf and his family. But I don't know where this story is going to end. But it's not going to end well. Like, we see where this is kind of headed or where this may be going. And I'm hoping it doesn't go there. But right now, I mean, things are bad right now when it comes to this case. They are. And I want to play this news clip where they talked about Austin Metcalf's father getting swatted. But first, people often ask, how can they support the channel? The answer to that question is very simple. You can support the channel by liking the video, subscribing, sharing the video on social media, and dropping a comment down below and becoming part of the conversation. All of this is totally free. It takes 1 second, and it helps the channel a lot. But if you want to help the channel even further, you can always donate via Super Thanks or donate via Cash App. YouTube does not take a percentage out of the Cash App. But with that being said, let's go ahead and roll this news clip, and then I'll be right back with more thoughts.
Now to breaking news and an update on the deadly stabbing in Frisco. Frisco police just confirmed a swatting call was made tonight to an address belonging to the victim's father. Now that's a prank call designed to bring a lot of police to a scene. Tonight, Jeff Metcalf confirms to WFAA he wasn't home when it happened, but he did arrive about 5 minutes later. Now, this is new information, and right now we're working to learn more details. But earlier today, everything stopped and heads turned when Metcalf showed up to a news conference called by the suspect's family. Tonight, Matt Howerton has a desperate plea from Karmelo Anthony's mother.
They came to speak for the accused. Jeff Metcalf came for his son. The father of Austin Metcalf surprised cameras at a press conference in Dallas Thursday, waiting for the mother of Karmelo Anthony to speak for the first time. Anthony, 17, now charged with murder, out on bond after telling police he stabbed Metcalf in self-defense. Metcalf's father asked to leave the press conference, and then it began like this.
The father being at this press conference. These are my words. Don't quote anybody. Is a disrespect to the dignity of his son.
Metcalf telling WFAA he was just there to listen.
I'm not here to create a disturbance. I'm just here to stand by and witness this press conference.
And shook the hands of officers before leaving. Since he was asked to leave the press conference, we asked Metcalf what he thought about those remarks. Thursday night, he told us he's not talking to any media right now.
Our family has been under attack.
Anthony's mother, Kayla Hayes, did eventually speak.
The claims that were used about the public donation to buy a home or anything else are completely false.
Emotionally denying her family has used any money from a GiveSend-Go fund that's collected over $450,000. The internet has suggested otherwise and has flooded Hayes' family with threats, she says.
My 13-year-old daughter is afraid to sleep in her own bedroom.
At the presser, it was also revealed that Frisco ISD has moved to expel Anthony weeks before he was supposed to graduate. An accusation of murder on school property results in an automatic expulsion per the district's code of conduct. Anthony could appeal, and an advocate suggested that may happen.
Thank you, and God bless you.
The room emptied when the presser ended, but the temperature around this case didn't drop.
Now, as I was saying at the beginning of this video, I've been aware for a very long time that this mentality exists in certain communities here in America. Like, I've been aware for a very long time that certain communities or portions of certain communities harbor a deep hatred for white people. So when I saw this community come together and celebrate the murder of Austin Metcalf, it did not surprise me one bit, because I knew this would be how they reacted, okay? I mean, this culture celebrates murder 24/7, so it shouldn't be a big surprise, right? And when I saw this community come together and treat Karmelo Anthony like some sort of hero, that was not surprising either, because this culture, it stomps on people who are doing positive things. If you come from this culture and you try to be a positive person, if you got something going for yourself, you're considered a sellout. You're a coon. You're tap dancing for the white man by trying to be a successful, honest, honorable person. This culture props up the worst, and it shoots down the best. Literally. So seeing them prop Karmelo up like a hero was not a surprise. But I will say this. Even though I was aware of this mentality, even though I was well aware of this hatred, I didn't know it was this bad. Like I said, I'm not surprised by the celebrating Austin's murder. I'm not surprised by the selling t-shirts like Karmelo's a hero. But the levels and the lengths that these people are willing to go is kind of surprising. Because mocking Austin's death and celebrating his death wasn't enough. They're taking things one step further and trying to make life as miserable as possible for the parents of someone whose son was just murdered. You know, celebrating wasn't enough. No, they got to actively go out of their way to make things worse. Which lets you know this hate, that's a lot of hate. That is a lot of hate. Imagine how hateful you have to be to celebrate someone's murder because of the color of their skin. And then turn around and say, hey, you know what? Instead of doing something constructive with my life today, instead of going out here and doing something positive, instead of doing something for my kids, instead of doing something nice for my parents, I'm going to go out of my way to SWAT Austin's dad's house. I'm going to go out of my way to type a 15-paragraph essay creating a fake story about Austin Metcalf because I have nothing else to do at all. I have nothing better to do with my life other than to go out of my way to be racist and evil toward Austin Metcalf's family. Because that's what we're seeing right now. And it's worse than even I knew. And I knew it was bad. So it is really, really bad. If I'm telling you that this is worse than I thought, then that should tell you something. And I mean, just look at the news clip that I showed you all earlier in this video. It's blatantly obvious that the media is afraid to address the issues here in this story. Which is why I keep telling people, support the people who are willing to speak out and tell the truth about this case. Support people like me, and when I say people like me, I don't just mean me. Support people who are willing to put their necks out there. And I don't even have much of a neck, but the little bit of a neck that I have, I've been putting it out here on the line for Austin Metcalf and his family. Because the media is afraid to cover this story properly. The general masses are afraid to acknowledge the issues in this story and the bigger issues in this country. So yeah, your support is greatly appreciated and it's needed. People like me, and like I said, not just me, but anyone willing to speak out with the truth about this case, they're getting a lot of hate. And a lot of the people who are willing to speak out, they're doing it behind fake profile pictures on anonymous accounts. There's not a lot of people putting their face out there saying the things that I'm saying, right? So when you look at that news clip, it's like, oh, we got breaking news. Austin Metcalf's father was swatted. But in other news, here's Karmelo Anthony's mom playing the victim. It's like, what? We get 10 seconds of coverage about Austin Metcalf's dad getting swatted, and then we have to tune into Karmelo Anthony's ET mom with the dry wig sitting here crying and screaming at us like a maniac, mad that her son got arrested after he admitted to murdering someone at a track meet? Right? Oh, well, here's something totally horrible and terrible that just happened to this father whose son was just murdered, but never mind that. Here's the murderer's mom playing victim and crying on TV. Everyone feel bad for her. Who cares about the Metcalfs? Everyone feels sorry for the Anthony family. It's disgusting. And it's adding to the frustration that is building up in this case. And I feel like the media knows that. The people running the media, they know that. I think they want tensions to rise. They want there to be issues. But there doesn't have to be those issues. This doesn't have to boil over into something crazy. Right? The way we prevent things like this from boiling over into something crazy is by simply saying the truth and confronting the lies and confronting the people like Karmelo's family and their little representatives who are out here spreading lies about the case, about Austin Metcalf's family, while playing victim so they can grift as much money as possible off the murder of Austin Metcalf. People need to start speaking up. We need to have more voices of reason out here. Because these low IQ idiots, they're screaming all over the internet. You can't even hardly understand what these people are saying. But they're saying something. You got a bunch of illiterate motherfuckers that can't even read, and they're out here on the internet saying something, so why are you afraid to? Speak your mind. Don't be afraid to stand on the side of what's right. Because I can tell you one thing, the media is not going to stand on the side of what's right. The media, in the long run, they'll try to play as neutral as possible, but secretly they're on Karmelo's side. The judge isn't going to stand up for what's right, which is why Karmelo is already out of jail. You think the jury and the justice system's really going to stand for what's right? I'm not convinced. The local police aren't standing for what's right. They're standing next to Karmelo's family as Austin Metcalf's family is targeted. So the only people who are going to be here standing for what's right are going to be people like me and people like you watching this video, if you have the courage to speak out. So I hate that this is happening to the Metcalf family. I wish it would stop. I wish this case could play out like all the other cases that we see play out, but it's not going to happen. And now we got protests and riots and all types of stuff planned for the coming days. There's no telling where this story is headed, but I'll be here to cover it all. So subscribe and ring that notification bell so you can be notified of when I upload these videos. It's important because YouTube does not like to send out my notifications. I got people who've been subbed to my channel for a long time who often message me, hey, how come you're not posting videos? Even though I post like 5 videos a day, YouTube isn't even showing them. So make sure you ring the notification bell so you can be notified. And I'll be uploading again soon. But for now, drop a comment below, hit the like button, and I'll talk to you all in the next one.